Peasant Productions presents the Math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. In the previous video I'm talking about how in order to be intelligent you actually have to think. And how corporations, governments which are corporations, churches, religions which are corporations, they are in the sole purpose of making money, folks. That makes them a business. That makes them a corporation. They might claim to be non-profit, but if at the end of the day they have money in their pocket, that's a profit. There's no other way to look at it. There's simple logic on that, okay? By the same token, okay, you have an awful lot of people running around and saying that society didn't exist until there was a written language. Now, most of those people that will say that are, by and large, corporations, schools, religions, governments. The biggest reason they say that is because they want to take something from somebody that they do not recognize as being a society, i.e. the First Nations of your planet, the aboriginals of any continent here that were living here before an invading army came in and took over their land and claimed they had to be there to make things better. As I'm pointing out here, it's very simple what you need to know in order to create a miracle. You are taught against that. One of the ways that that happens, obviously, is by telling you that you have to live by a certain set of rules. Otherwise, you're not proper. You're not okay. You're not correct. And, of course, in order to have those, you need writing. Now, if you are in the Bible world, okay, Jews, Christians, Catholics, Muslims, the Samaritans invented writing. Problem is that about the same time the Samaritans were creating their clay tablets with little pictographs on it, the Chinese were creating the Chinese writing system, which incorporated several different dialects of written writing, and about, I believe, 4,000 or so characters involved in that. Okay, characters that could be an entire word or just simply an expression of a feeling. Okay. You can't say the Chinese invented writing, you can't say the Samaritans invented writing, you can't say anybody anywhere specifically invented it, but rather, to borrow something fun, there was a book out called The 100th Monkey. It's about how what collective consciousness does, and how you put enough people all doing the same thing, it'll raise that awareness. Be the book a fallacy or a reality, keep in mind that 95% of the population of this planet are sheep. They follow where they're told to go, and they are currently walking over a cliff in suicide. They have absolutely no care or concern. Okay, the people that are leading the 0.0%, the 0.001%, also don't care. Most of them are very old people who are ready to die, and they do not think about their children. They have no concerns for their grandchildren. They think that all the kids can go live in a hole in the ground, and in 100 years from now, the grandchildren of those children can come back out and they'll find a nice, perfect world. And of course, the reality of radiation poisoning is that the planet will be dead and radioactively toxic for somewhere around 100 million years before it revitalizes itself. For at least about 10 million years, Your oceans will be so toxic with all the radioactive material thrown into them and dumped into them and leaking into them and Fukushima pouring into them. That it will be about 10 million years before they cool off enough and you will have any stability of any life form in there that is not constantly mutating and constantly freaking out and dying off for lack of anything better to do. You don't have the right to say that a group of people that live together had to have writing first before they could be a society. Because if you have any logical cells in your brain, you will remember that one person came forward, then 2, then 10, then 20, then 100, and you formed a little town all together, and you're all living together and doing stuff together, and you're making pies and cakes and steaks and whatever, okay? You're living life. You're a society. And you start writing notes back and forth between one another. You have invented writing after you have society. It's the only way it can logically happen. A society does not necessarily need writing, i.e. the Aborigines of Australia, which go back 35,000 years, have never needed writing. They are honorable, trustable, spiritual people. They deal with themselves spiritually. I'm in a Mexican town that the church claims to own a saint, a santos. Because the people in this town recognize the fact that the church is only here because it wants to collect money. Actually, there's so many churches here, it's amusing. But they are all about collecting money, and they lie, cheat, and steal to get it. They'll kill you to get it. So the people in this town, that is what they are taught. And I have been in numerous conversations with people that you do not trust even your own family members, because we all lie, cheat, and steal from one another. Yeah. The church literally taught these people to be disrespectful to one another. The church is. Okay? And yet they claim a saint that I have yet to meet a single entity in this town of human form, other than myself, that actually believes that saint exists. Even the young lady that made the request of the Dios and then of the saint, of the Santos, has kind of expressed to me that she really doesn't believe in it. So why the Santos and Dios have my butt in a ringer when she doesn't even believe in their existence is a little beside me. But needless to say, these people do not express any actual faith in their own saint, that every day they are out there peddling wares and food and whatever else to make money off of. Even the taxi driver is driving people around here talking about, oh yeah, we got a saint here type of a thing. He's making money off the Santos. But he's doing it because it's a corporation, not because there's anything spiritual to connect with. A peasant coming here is something to steal from. You take whatever you can from the person and you leave them in the streets. You don't care. And then you turn around and you give your 10% tithing to the church. So the church will, oh, bless you, my son, you're forgiven. In my hand, por favor. Yeah. The church blesses you for stealing as long as you give your percentage to them. So the next time you want to think about somebody claiming that you have to be smart, as in lettered by a college, that was created after somebody smart enough to design the college and build the college and create the college and fund the college all got together and made such a college. Or you can't have a society until after they have written letters, or you can't have spirituality until after you go to church for 2,000 hours of sitting there praying or whatever. You think about the fact, the very last person in this town that anybody respects is me, because I hear the Santos. Yeah. I hear their Dios. El Cristo, Christ, is a constant companion for 57 years to me. So you see the illusion you have of how you allow the people that are greedy for the physical realm to tell you what to believe, and you stop thinking. But if you turn yourself around and you start looking at the idea, I need a miracle, I need people on this planet to wake up, I need them to be aware of what's going on. We really need to do something about the environment, because we're not going to survive if we continue on the path we are. Then you put the energy into it. 2,000 different environmentalist groups are all going to come together, and we're all going to work together to change things. And then you put the motion of actually contacting and talking to people and doing stuff. And you have the faith, this is going to work, we can change something. Yeah, a miracle. It's not that hard. It's also very much the opposite of what all those corporations teach you, isn't it? So, think about it.